everybody! Today, via Chloe's request, I will be doing a recipe from my unicorn food cookbook. And today I will be attempting to make Rainbow Swirl Bread! I'm really excited about this. I've never done it before. I really love rainbow bagels. So let's see if I can even attempt to do it. I have a feeling it's gonna turn out like one big messy blob. So for the recipe, I have an egg, got some sugar, flour, of course my food coloring dye, but that comes much later in the recipe. I got my active yeast, got some soft butter, and as always, my alcoholic beverage because you can't cook without alcohol. And today it's Black is Beautiful Imperial Stout by KCBC. So let's go ahead and get that nicely poured. Ooh, nice. I love me a good stout. Beautiful. All right. This recipe is a little different from what I'm used to because most of the time I'm used to how the pretzel video was from last week where you put the active yeast in warm water. But this time it's telling me to put the flour, the sugar, and the yeast, oops, whoopsie, all together and then mix it in. Whisking, 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 whisking. While that's been whisking, now I have to add the butter, the egg, and the milk. As before, I only have the yogurt milk still from the other day. I'm sure it will turn out fine. It turned out fine with the pretzels, so. Okay, and butter. Whatever, I'm picking it up. Whoa. And my hands are covered in butter. Time for some egg. It's getting go-isk. Oh, you know what? I probably should have changed to a bread hook. Oh, allora. I guess it's time to have a beer. I definitely doinked it up quite a bit. The next direction literally is like, in order to knead it, put on your bread hook. Soprano moment! Pretty successfully got most of it off. I just fell to the floor. Good enough. So now it's time for a bread hook! Yes! I'm gonna let this bread hook do all my kneading for me because I'm a little lazy sometimes. This is an excellent beer. Good beer. The dough is definitely kneaded. It's a lot thicker than like the pretzel dough I made the other day and compared to a lot of other breads I've made. So that's interesting. Got my reusable dough cover. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gonna let it proof for 45 minutes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Proof, 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 proof. Proof, 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 proof. It's really hard to sing the word proof. Interesting. Maybe if I try rolled R. Proof, 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 proof. No. While I wait for this to proof, I'm gonna, of course, drink my beer. Do some embroidery. That's why I have this on. I broke my hand last summer. I will be watching The Last Unicorn. Since I'm making unicorn bread, it only seems appropriate. It's the moment of proof! I don't think that's proofed enough. It's supposed to double in size. It's gotten bigger. I think I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. I think I made some pretty good progress. Yeah. I let it proof for another 20 minutes. I don't think it's gonna rise much more. And because I'm not a patient person, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the things. For my second drink, got my TARDIS ice cube. I'm just gonna pour a little scotch with it. Yum! Nothing like a dark beer followed by a scotch. The next step is to divide this dough into 6 things. I'm not gonna do that because I only have 4 colors, but here we go. So I've divided the dough into 4, and then I'm supposed to knead each color into the dough. I feel most of it's getting on the counter. I am not a fan of this dough. It's like very gooey. I don't know if that's because of the yogurt or what. I did manage to get it to become purple. Oh, my hands are gonna be like Easter eggs when all this is done. Okay, time for the last color, which is blue. We definitely have 4 colors now, and I have to let it proof for another hour. I feel like a freaking unicorn right now. Look how beautiful my hands are. Who cares about painting nails? This should be all the rage. Even my reusable paper towel looks magical now after cleaning the counter. Just making this bread makes you feel like a unicorn. As much as I love my hands looking like a unicorn just pooped on them, I'm gonna try and get them clean. I just had dinner and did some meditation, so that dough has had plenty of time to rise. Oop, and my beer is getting a little foamy. Way too foamy. But now I have my dessert beer, which is a Copper Legend Oktoberfest from Jackson Abbey Brewery. And let's see how the dough did. So colorful! See, I should probably start the oven. I couldn't quite get them into perfect rectangles, but I'm gonna go ahead and roll them together. Let's see. Oh, lordy. Lordy, lordy. Yeah, my purple one is not as big as the others, but that's okay. And then my blue is gonna be the outside. So, and then you just roll it up like a Swiss roll. I'm trying to think, I think this way would be best. So let's roll, 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 roll. Nice. And then you put it in a nice little tin. It's so strange. I've never had a bread roll like this. Like, I've rolled bread, I've braided bread before, but I don't know, it's very like, I've never had it this round before. All right, into the oven it goes for 35 minutes, or it says until brown, which is supposed to be colored, so I don't know how that works. One leaf completed. Embroidery takes a really long time. The timer just went off. Let's see. Whew, what it looks like. Oh my goodness. It has definitely exploded. It's like a burrito gone wrong. I always like to test my bread kind of like I test, ooh, that is hard. Like I test cake, and yeah, that's good. So now we have to let it cool. In the recipe book, they have 2 different things you can do with your bread, or as I'm gonna call it, my strange rainbow burrito mutant. And the 2 things you can do is, one is called tie-dye toast and the other is called fairy bread. So I'm gonna make some stuff to prepare for some tie-dye toast, which is you take some cream cheese into a bowl. I'm gonna use that spoon later. Get some groceries. And you mix that cream cheese with some honey. Haha, there's where my other spoon comes in. Some honey. A dollop. A dollop. I'm sure this is probably too much honey, but I like sweet. Good. We're supposed to put a little food coloring in each one. So I'm gonna try and do these other colors. So tie-dye calls for a lot of blue. Or turquoise, not tie-dye. Turquoise calls for a lot of blue and a little bit of green. See if I can get that to become turquoise. I don't think my cream cheese is soft enough for this. Oh, it's kind of turquoisey. I think I probably used a little too much Cookbook coloring. That's okay. The moment of truth is about to happen. Will my loaf have a nice swirl? I'm not sure if my burrito loaf will. Let's find out. I could not find my bread knife, but I suppose this is the next best thing since it's a serrated blade. So let's find out if we have a color swirl at all. It's still a little hot. All right, moment of truth. Oh my gosh, it did swirl! So excited! Okay, so now it's time to make tie-dye toast and fairy toast. So let's do the tie-dye on this bigger one, I think. So the tie-dye calls for you to have the different cream cheeses. So that was supposed to be, I think, turquoise, but no, not turquoise. Raspberry, but it turned out to be dark purple. Here's my turquoise. That one actually turned out turquoise. Okay, and then I also have another color. The apple green, which yeah, that definitely I would say is apple green. But as stated before, I think the green is, well actually with it baked, it looks more yellow than green. Okay, and once you got the cream cheese on, then you're supposed to add sprinkles. So I have some pretty sprinkles. Let's see. Ooh. Got some sprinkles. And I also have some marshmallows, because marshmallows are unicorny, right? Oh my gosh. Looks like a unicorn barfed. Okay, so then for the fairy toast, that one's a little easier. So you just have some butter, and you spread a little butter. Just a little butter. You're supposed to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on it. Now, I have some sugar I made the other day for some lavender scones I made, which is lavender sugar. So, and how you make lavender sugar is you just take some regular sugar, put a teeny bit of salt in it, and then some lavender. I think that will look really pretty on this. So, just a little. And then it says here you can also add some sprinkles. I'm gonna just spread out the sugar a little bit. Some sprinkles. I think these sprinkles would look nice. Oh yeah. Moment of truth. I'm gonna try the tie-dye toast. Oh my gosh. Tie-dye toast. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, it's huge. I magically changed into a unicorn. Not quite my jam, but the bread is pretty good. I had no soggy bottom. And now to try the fairy toast. I'm a fairy! Boom! Even Toku agrees. Remember to subscribe to my channel and tune in next Saturday so you can see Lorraine's request of what she wanted me to bake.